Last video before we go back into using the intro, which means back to using HD video rendering. Yay for you guys! Yay! Let's get that over. Let's get this over with then, shall we? Hey, what's going on, little nomads, party people, and strangers everywhere? And this is the start of one of 5 new videos I'm recording for you guys right now, along with a 6th video coming out relatively soon. So, a lot of you guys remember when I first started doing my whole Let's Talk segments. The premiere of it was about me talking to you guys about the in and outs of what sex is. First step is intimacy, yay.
Oh, okay.
That came out last year after about a few months of a lot of mental, physical, and kind of emotional distress happened, where I was very, very, very fresh with my whole not all that right in the head anymore time. But today, instead of waiting for the anniversary episode of it, I wanted to actually talk to you guys about something else involving my whole thing about how sex is in the modern period. And that is what I feel should be a restriction for the modern day youth. Now, for me, on a personal level, I was a bit of a freak when I was about a year away from being an official teenager. I was a preteen when I officially lost my virginity, but my parents and my sister still do not know about that story. So as far as they knew, I was still an innocent guy that didn't go out and do anything bad or sneak out of the house without them actually knowing I did anything, because I wanted to feel like I was a good child in the family. But yeah, that was basically me in a nutshell. I did shit. My family has no idea I've ever done it, and as far as I'm concerned, that's how I wanted to stay as long as I can possibly have it. However, when it comes down to me thinking about it, it's like I'm an AP now and also an AGP. So I have to really think about this. Kids today and how the parents were back when they were kids are a lot different now than ever before. Because when I was growing up, the only thing that we had as like a role model for how to be a man wasn't from a reality show. It was either our fathers or it was just people from sitcoms. It would be Martin from Martin. It would be Damon Wayans from My Wife and Kids. It would be Uncle Phil from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, or anything else just revolving around that. If you were a fan of Full House, it was either the actual dad or one of the uncles. If it was Family Matters, it was that cop. I don't know why you would like Family Matters, because that shit sucks. Or it could be you looked up to Mr. Rogers as a parental figure. I don't know. People have other tastes and other things. But what I'm getting at here is, when we were all younger, from the people in my age demographic, we didn't have the whole explicit shit that most kids get nowadays. Because back then, we didn't have the big internet that we have. We only had dial-up, but that only came around when I was just a little kid, know what I mean? Like, we had that dial-up life for real. There was no, you could go on the internet and just type in whatever and your parents would have no idea what was going on. No. You had to have a dial-up phone in the room to just do all this stuff. Do you guys remember that? Because I do not want to ever remember that happens at all. But enough of me reminiscing about bygone era, about how I wish that was still the case. So, Kids today, from what I've seen, do a lot of stuff they imitate from what they see on television and on computers a lot more than what people back in my day actually did. Because, yeah, we had smutty material, but it was kind of more toned down than what we see today. Because in music videos, yeah, we had like the video starlight girls that we had, but it wasn't as blatant as it is today. Because you take a 80s and 90s music video and just place it into today, you wouldn't even notice how half the sexual stuff was in there, because you'd just be like, oh shit, this is actually just about the music and about just people being whatever. Because you just saw that whole Twister overnight celebrity thing, or anything with Ludacris. Yeah, there were like video star girls, but it wasn't that overly sexualized. But comparing that to today, like where you have Rihanna's needed you, if you were to look in that, or Kanye West Famous, or just anything involving a lot of modern day music videos. A lot of kids try to look at that as their emulation for stuff because they probably have a broken home, like a lot of people did when we were growing up, but instead they're just taking notes on what they want to do from their idols, from the media. Because instead of looking up to people that are always respectful, we have a lot of different TV shows that do not always capture that whole, you need to be this, that, and the third thing to be a successful adult. And instead, we end up with a lot of kids where I hear stories like this one kid in kindergarten pulls down his pants and then just shows his penis to the crowd saying, I'm looking for some pussy.
What the fuck? What the fuck was that? What are you talking about?
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Or you have stories like an 11-year-old getting pregnant and wanting to be a parent. Or you have people basically saying they have a 13-year-old that's out of control because she wants to have a lot of sex and be a mom.
You are fired from breathing! Please, pack up your desk and kindly leave live!
Yes, that's obviously such a good thing. What was their influence? Let's see. If they're 13 now, they grew up in 2003. Chances are they probably grew up around the time where, oh yeah, music started to change of how they do music videos. And I'm not just saying that for like anything involving hip-hop or R&B stuff. I mean like music videos in general. Because, let's face it guys, no matter what the genre is, unless it's something super old like the stuff I get into, like jazz, blues, soul, classical, it's not gonna be anything else except for maybe a very explicit commercial or a very explicit music video that at the end of the day you're probably gonna be like, I should not have shown my kid this. And that's kind of what I've been noticing a lot, because yeah, we have a lot more technical advances, but then again we have the problem of technological advances, which is also into step 2. The internet is now so much broader and so wider for anybody that they can go into any site that they want to, and the parent won't have any idea what's going on. Case in point, I have a truly good friend of mine that's also one of my cousins of Dominic, who I call Dom. And he has dated a lot of different people over the years, and he has a child who is 7 years old from one of his exes. He still sees the kid every now and again, but every time he sees the kid, they're always on the phone. I'm trying to keep the gender non-specific because that's his life. I don't want to really get into too much detail. But as soon as he sees the kid just leaving his phone to just go into the bathroom, he flips through the phone, not really password, and sees just all these links to all these porn sites, and they're 7 years old. Just trying to see what the practice is from one windows that he saw for one of the text messages is, because apparently when you have the internet and you see all this stuff, you want to experiment what you see on the computer to see if that's what you're supposed to do as an adult. Yeah, because that's the smartest thing to do, kids. You're supposed to look into what is and isn't what adults do and see if that's the case. You go onto these random adult sites and just like, oh, I want to do this because this guy decided to have this one girl's leg on his neck and then choke her out until she made the Undertaker face, and then just decided to twist around to a pretzel and then just glazed her face until she became a giant Cinnabon. Yeah, that's the fucking thing we needed for our kids to actually have in their mind. Yeah, that stuff. And then to point the third. Guys, if it's not from anything involving technology, there's also the other thing that you guys have to realize. It's sometimes you yourself as the parent. Now, before you decide to click off here, just let me explain. There are certain parents that are very liberal with how they want to have their child grow up, where they try to have them see everything without any borders or any closed-off things involving what's going on. And the problem with that is sometimes the kids will just be so blatant that they will just walk in on their parents having sex or just watching all this material or even talking about these materials and then try to emulate their parents because they feel like if they're doing it, maybe I should because they're who I'm supposed to look up to. Those are my idols, my family members. And then just go out and do so recklessly without any real logic behind what they're doing. And it's kind of sad because I have a lot of friends that are parents. I'm an AP/AGP, so it's even sadder now because I'm just like, what would happen if the babies grew up in a society like this where out of nowhere they just turn into what all these other kids around me are turning into, just disrespectful, haughty, ignorant, sort of loudmouth, not knowing what the hell they're actually doing children that are just screwing up their lives. It gets scarier the more you grow up, and it gets even scarier when you become a parent and or a guardian. It's very saddening to where you just automatically worry about any child that you run into, no matter if it is your biological child or not, because you have that responsibility as the older generation to try and show the younger ones the ins and out of what is supposed to be done and what is not supposed to be done. Should they do this or should they do that? Because without real guidance, can they actually understand what's going on in the real world? There are small cases, sure, but out of a small case like that, can we really just risk it for our own kids' sake? So before I go into even more about this, I want to leave this as an open discussion with you guys. So tell me, has parenting gone so far down with how to have sex ed that a lot of kids don't know what's going on? Or are kids just so blatantly disrespectful nowadays that they just feel like they can do whatever no matter if they're brought up in an actual structured environment? You guys tell me your actual opinions on this topic in the comments below, and share this video with other people that you feel like should bring this to light, and even make a response video if you want to. If people still make response videos, obviously, ha ha ha. But anyway guys, this is just me getting some stuff off my chest, and now we have 4 new videos to go, because you guys have made July start off fantastically, and I want to share all this love with you guys while I'm at peace with my own zen-like being. Hee!